Hi, this is Numeric Citizen. In today's video, I want to share a few things with you related to using Craft for creating websites. If you are a new user to Craft, or if you are a long-time user of Craft, but you didn't share any document up until now, you have to know that Craft is able to create a website simply by creating a shared document. I'll show you how we create a shared document, which in turn becomes a website. So if it is so easy to create a website using Craft, you might be wondering or tempted to reconsider your own workflows and then move one of your websites within the Craft environment and using Craft as a content management service like WordPress. And this video will help you, I hope, to have a better look or a better understanding of what it means of creating a website and maintaining a website within Craft. So for this purpose of this video, I'll create a simple website and then we'll dig deeper into the details of that. First, let's review the actual process of creating a website with Craft. So I'm in Craft right now and I have this document. It's not a document that I wrote. And I want to share this document as a website. So I'll go to the share button here at the top, and then I'll make sure that I create the actual document on the web. The first thing is to set the domain and the actual URL of the document. So I'll skip that here because it's not the purpose of this video. You can set a password. If you share a document, but you only want a few people to be able to see it, then you can share the password required to open the document. You can set also an expiration date if this is something that you want to be online for a few days or a few weeks. And also you can go in the comments section so that other people can post comment within your document or can view others people comments too. So I'll leave that as is, as this is the default values. And then you go in the advanced option, and this is where you'll be able to set if you want to show the document title. This is the document title here, so I'll leave that on. If you want to share also the author name, so it will show the actual author name at the top of the document, and if you want to show the logo where it has been created with Craft, so I'll leave that off for now. And then at the bottom of the options, you can enable the indexing of the document by search engines like Google. So this is the basic options that you'll be able to, that you can set in order to configure the shared document. So right now, the document is live on the web. So if I copy that here, and then I'll switch to Safari, and then I'll paste that here. So if I click on this and you see the actual website with all the content that you saw earlier in the Craft application. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to do a website. So it is, here you have the actual, this is the author name, which is me as a Numeric Citizen. This is a document title, which I asked to show. And at the end of the document, there is no logo created by Craft because I left the option disabled when I shared the document. So that's the process of creating a website. So it's so easy to do. You might wonder if it is a good idea to move one of your website. Let's say you have a blog on WordPress or Ghost, and you are considering moving that over to Craft. So the purpose of this video is to show you a few things that you might have to consider before making the jump and then transferring your website to Craft. So it was a pretty easy process, as you can see, and I'll show you in the next segment of this video a few things that you really have to know. Now I'm back into Craft, and you can see here that the document sharing option allows for having a bit of analytics tied to the sharing document feature. As you can see, there is one visitor who opened up the website, which is me for the purpose of this video. And when you click on that, you can have a typical analytics that you get from WordPress or Ghost, for example. So you'll see how many readers came to see the actual document, how much time they spend on the document itself, and if one user saw many pages within you or saw your document many times, then it will increase the number of views. So you see where I'm coming from. I'm from Canada. I was using a desktop computer to see that, and this is the top page. I'm looking at it, and then I went to the website directly by entering the document address. So that's the basic analytics that you get on Craft. It's worth for 30 days, so you can have a look at 30 days. I'll show you how it looks when you are using or building a website which is more popular, like the Craft Bible. If I go there, go in the shared, you'll see that in the last 30 days, more than 700 people came to visit the website. If I click on that, you'll see over the last 30 days how it looks, how many views, and how much time people are spending on average on the website, where people are coming from. And if I go here, I can expand this, and you see where the people are coming from. So it's pretty comparable to what you get on the WordPress, and it's pretty interesting because you have a better understanding of how people are consuming your website. But the thing is, if you want to go for a longer period of time, like a 1 year, you can't. Craft doesn't support this type of period. Also, if you want to use a third-party analytics like Plausible, which is an open source project that is available, you won't be able to integrate the required script within any of your page that you share within Craft. So that's an issue that you need to be aware of. So you won't be able also to use Google Analytics if this is something that you want to use. So that's the first thing you have to understand, is that Craft is good at creating a simple website, but it's not very extensive on the integration of third-party analytics services into the website itself. Next thing that you need to understand or to know is that you won't be able to have a sitemap. That is, it's not available within Craft. And a sitemap helps a search engine to better understand the structure of your website. This is something that is built in within WordPress, but it's not available on Craft. Also, you won't be able to prove the fact that you are owning this website. So certain services on the web requires you to give a proof that you are the owner of your website by doing some change to the a few scripts within your website to call back the web services, so that you are really the owner of this website. I know that Webmastodon is doing that for having the possibility to list all the websites that you are the owner of. And this is not something that you cannot do, that you can do in Craft. So you really have to understand that you won't be able to do any of these things in Craft. The other important thing that you need to understand is that Craft doesn't support RSS feed. RSS feeds are a way to push out updates to users who are subscribing to your website through our RSS feed. And for example, if I consider this website, which happens to be my blog, this website is hosted on WordPress.com. And one of the basic features of a WordPress website is to be able to have a RSS feed built into this website. And people who are subscribing to the RSS feed, then they will get notification when you post a new article. If I switch to a website which is built using Craft, as an example, the Craft Bible, I won't be able to have a RSS feed so that people could get a notification as soon as I make an update to the Craft Bible. And so if you want to provide the RSS feed functionality to your website, then Craft is not a good solution for creating your website. The other things that you need to know is that it's often the case where we have an image within a website where we click on the image, either the image will open up or it will bring you to another part of the website or somewhere else on the web. There's no way to assign a link to an image within your shared document. So that would be nice if I could just click on this and then go somewhere else. So this is not something that you can do. The other thing that you need to know is that if you are building a complex website like the Craft Bible, there is no way to have a navigation element to your website that could help the user, the visitors, to better navigate within the website. So this is really something that is lacking right now as I'm doing this video. Maybe it will come in the future, but right now there is no way to have a table of content on the left so that people could just select a specific section and then go right there by clicking on the section title. So this is not something that is possible right now. So again, no navigation aids and no link to pictures that's something that you won't be able to do in Craft. The other thing that you want to be able to control when you are publishing a website is the address of each pages. If I go in this example on this website, if I hover my mouse on this article title, you'll see at the bottom there is the address name of the website. It's followed by a date like the year, the month, and the day, and then there's the actual path to the article, which happens to be the article title. This is highly customizable in WordPress. This is something that you can set yourself. If I look at a website built with Craft and I hover the mouse on a specific section, if you look there at the bottom, there is a craft.do web address, and then it's followed by a kind of some GUID, and the actual document title is at the very last portion of the web address. But everything that goes before the document title, you won't have any control of that. And this is something that I find annoying, because I like to be able to have a date that sits within the document address on the web, but you cannot do that on Craft. The other thing that you need to know is the fact that when you are editing a document within Craft, if this is a document that is shared online, you have to know that everything that you do within your document is automatically reflected on the web. So visitors who are browsing your website might see changing document content as they browse your website. It's because Craft always sync the content to the backend to the shared document on the web as you are editing the document. If you compare that to WordPress, when you are making a change to a document within WordPress, you are entering in a edit mode, and then you make the changes, and the changes are kept local on your device when you are doing the modifications, or it's kept within the browser environment until you press the update button. So it would be nice if Craft would have something like that when we make changes, and then at the very end of the change process, then we can push the content on the web. But I think it would kind of defeat the purpose of having a collaborative environment, and this is why Craft is always keeping the content in sync with the web as you edit the document. So this is something that you have to understand because it's very different from other content management service like WordPress or Ghost for that matter. So again, this is something that you need to know. If you want to get serious of using with Craft as a website creation tool, you're probably aware of search engine optimization or SEO. Uh, Google maintains a analytics related to each website that the search engine is indexing. And there's a tool that you can actually use to see how your website is performing. So I did try it's called the PageSpeed Insights tool. And I did test this tool against my WordPress website. And the results are here. It's pretty fast to get the tool running. So what you do is you just enter this web address in the field there, and this is the actual address of the PageSpeed tool. So you enter your website address, and by the way, you can enter any website that you want, but this is mine. And once you click Analyze, after a few moments, it will get back with a few analytics. And the thing that you should be looking for is to have a great score in a green status for the four axes that you see here. So on the performance side of the story, this website is performing pretty well. I'm using a WordPress business plan, so it is hosting on its own instance within the WordPress.com backend. So I guess this is part of the reason why the response time of the website is pretty good. There's also accessibility aspect where you have to set a few things within the each website articles where you'll have a alternate text for images and things like that. So the score there is pretty good, and also the best practices is the website using the best practices when it's time to build a website. And again, the score is pretty good, and the search engine optimization score is pretty good. So overall, it's very good. It's good looking, and what it means is that the better the score there, the better your website will move up in the overall population of website, if you will. So what if you do the same thing on a craft website? So I did run this on the Craft Bible, and as you can see here, there's a little thumbnail where you see the Craft Bible, and the actual score that I get for this website is pretty bad. So if you compare that, the performance is pretty low, the accessibility is not really good. All the best practices is good, but the search engine optimization are not quite there where it should be. So overall, it's a pretty bad score if you ask me. So again, if you are planning to use the craft for building sites, you really have to understand what are the implications of doing so. So that's the page speed insights side of the story here. Oh, I hope this video gave you a good look at the some of the gotchas that relates to using Craft for building website. I think Craft is pretty good for creating a pretty complex website like the one that you are seeing there. It's a pretty document where you can navigate within the different subsection and things like that. And it can get pretty extensive in the way that you can display content. There's also this commenting possibility here that you can just allow people to just drop comments on your website. But that being said, there is a few things that Craft won't do. It's not supposed to be competing against WordPress or Ghost or Squarespace. And I think it's important for you to understand those limitations before making the decision to move your website over Craft. So that was the purpose of this video. And again, I think Craft is a really good tool for sharing document online, but to build a complex website, this is something that you really have to understand the limitations. So that's it for this video. I hope you'll learn a few things along the way. Thanks for being there. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thanks again for being there, and see you guys for another one soon. Bye.